Okay, friends. So today in this lecture, we will discuss about the distortion produced by the amplifier circuit. There are different types of the distortion introduced by the amplifier. It is called a amplitude distortion or a harmonic distortion, frequency distortion, phase distortion. So one by one, we are going to discuss all the type of the distortion. But particularly in this lecture, we will discuss about what is the harmonic distortion and how we can measure the distortion or how we can calculate this distortion. So let us see, in the we know that in the amplifier circuit, if you have this amplifier circuit, then we applied a input signal to the amplifier, and here we have a amplified signal. Now input to the signal is, let us say it is a purely a sine wave. Remember, it is purely a sine wave. Then in the output also, if this amplified signal, larger version of the signal, is also a purely a sine wave. Correct? It means the shape of the input signal and the shape of the output signal is identical, then we can say there is no distortion. There is no distortion introduced by the amplifier circuit. If my input signal, if this input signal is like this, it is not necessary that sine wave. Your input signal amplifier is going to amplify any kind of the signal. It can amplify the sine wave, square wave, triangle wave, sawtooth wave, or if there is a complex signal. So if this input signal is a kind of just a complex signal, then amplified signal is also a same wave of the same shape. Then here we can say the distortion introduced by the amplifier is zero, or no distortion is introduced by the amplifier. But here when you apply the sine wave, and instead of a sine wave in the output, suppose my amplified signal is like this. Amplified signal is like this. Amplified signal is like this. Or means here you can see in all the case the shape of the input signal and the shape of the output signal are not identical. Means here we can say the distortion is introduced by the amplifier circuit, and these are known as a distorted signal. This is the distorted signal. Now here if you see, the shape of your positive cycle and negative cycle is almost different than your input signal. Some harmonic are introduced in this signal. Here if you see, in this case the positive cycle is amplified properly, but the amplitude of the negative cycle is less than the positive cycle. Here the amplitude of the positive cycle is less than the amplitude of the negative cycle. So there is a distortion. So basically if we have this undistorted signal, then there should be a proper amplitude of the positive cycle as well as the negative cycle. Correct? Now, why the distortion is introduced? What is the reason behind this? That why the shape of the output signal is not identical to the input signal. So there are basic two reasons. That in an amplifier circuit we are using a active device. Here we have using a transistor or a field effect transistor, BJT, or you can say FET is there, then any kind of active device. Now every active device has a non-linear characteristics. Non-linear characteristics means the relation between the current and voltage is not a linear one. So this is one of the reasons, or we can say it is a major contribution, that due to the non-linearity characteristics of a transistor, the distortion is going to be introduced. Now second thing, that when we use this active device, then it has to be biased properly. Here, I think already you have learned about the characteristic curve of a transistor. Then the characteristic curve is like this. Then this is known as your active region. This is known as the cutoff region. And this one is known as a saturation region. Correct? So the characteristics is a three different regions. Normally, if you are using a transistor as an amplifier, then you should use this region. That is an active region, and active region is almost a linear region, you can say. But if you have not biased your transistor properly, and if you are using this portion of the characteristic curve or this portion of the characteristic curve, then the distortion is going to be introduced by the amplifier. So the two major reasons is that that first of all, that the active device has non-linear characteristics. Means a relation between current and voltage is non-linear. Remember, that is a non-linear characteristic. And the second reason is for the distortion, that active device is not properly biased. Correct? So due to these two reasons, we can have a distortion in the amplifier. Now remember, here when we apply the signal, let us say the frequency of the signal is f. Then we know that my amplified signal is also a kind of this. Sorry, here suppose your amplified signal is a distorted signal and you have this kind of the signal is present. Now here why the shape of this signal has changed? So basically, whenever we have non-linear characteristics, then it will introduce the harmonics. So due to this harmonics, the shape of the output signal is changing. So here if we apply the frequency f at the input, then in the output of this amplifier circuit, you will have a frequency f will be present, the 2f will be present, 3f will be present, 4f will be present. Like this, the harmonics are present in the output of the amplifier circuit. And when all this harmony is going to be added with your fundamental frequency, then the shape of your fundamental frequency is going to change. And that is known as a harmonic distortion. Remember. So here if you see the characteristics, I think already you are familiar with the characteristics of a transistor. This is your a base current and the base voltage is there. If you draw the graph between the base current and the base voltage, then here you can see the relation between the current and the voltage is non-linear. And how will you find out that if you are finding a slope at this point or slope at this point, at all the point the slope is distortion, means the relation is a non-linear. Now if I will apply a signal at the input, VB is your what? It is your input voltage. Correct? Then what you are expecting in the output? You are expecting in the output like this. But at the same time, here if my input frequency F, output frequency F will be there. But at the same time, the 2F frequency is also going to be produced. The 3F frequency is also going to be produced because of the non-linearity. And mathematically also we will prove that the output current contains the F, 2F, 3F, this kind of the harmonics. So, whenever this 2F and the 3F will be superposed on your fundamental frequency, then you are getting a output signal like this. This is your a distorted wave. And this distortion is introduced due to the harmonics, and therefore it is known as a harmonic distortion. Here, remember, at the input of the amplifier, we have only one frequency F, but the output contains the 2F, 3F, 4F, which is not present at the input of the amplifier. They are only present at the output. And the output, you are getting the superposition of all this wave, and therefore the distortion is going to be created. Correct? Now, how to define this distortion or how to calculate the distortion? So in the output, we have 2F, that is a second harmonic. 3F is a third harmonic. So we can calculate the distortion due to the second harmonic. What is the distortion due to the third harmonic? So here we can write this D2. D2 means what? It is a distortion due to the second harmonic. Remember, here we are defining that the distortion due to a second harmonic, and it is given as the amplitude of the second harmonic divided by amplitude of the fundamental frequency. And we can take the mode because the distortion cannot be a negative. So whatever the amplitude of the second harmonic is there and the amplitude of the fundamental frequency is there, so the ratio of this is known as a distortion due to the second harmonic. Normally this distortion we measure in the percentage, so you can multiply with the 100. Same way we can calculate the distortion due to a third harmonic, and it is written as D3 is equal to, in this case we have to consider the amplitude of the third harmonic to the amplitude of my fundamental frequency multiplied by 100. So second harmonic is generating a distortion as well as the third harmonic is also generating a distortion. Same way, the distortion due to the fourth harmonic we can write as A4 by A1 and multiply by 100. Normally, the amplitude of the fourth harmonic, fifth harmonic is very small, so the distortion created by that harmonic will be very, very small. But whatever the maximum distortion is created, that is due to a second harmonic. So here we will see how we can measure the A2 and A1. So there are different methods, but one of the method is a graphical method, and another method where we can have a electronic instrument which is called a distortion analyzer. So about the distortion analyzer we will discuss in the next lecture. But today we will discuss what is the graphical method and how we can calculate the amplitude of the second harmonic to the amplitude of a fundamental frequency. Okay. So for this calculation, we require a characteristic curve. Either we can use a input characteristic, output characteristic, and one more characteristic is there, which is known as a transfer characteristics. In transfer characteristics, remember, in an input characteristic, that both the x and y parameter from the input means if you draw a graph between the input voltage and the input current, that is known as the input characteristics. Output characteristics means if we draw the graph against the output voltage and the output current. But what is the transfer characteristics? That the one of the parameter is from the input and another parameter is from the output, and that is known as a transfer characteristics. Here we will consider a transfer characteristics of a field effect transistor. Field effect transistor, about that you will learn in the next semester. But whatever the logic, whatever the calculation we apply here, the same calculation also you can apply for the BJT. Now, what is the dynamic transfer characteristics of the field effect transistor? Let us see. Okay. Here on the x-axis, I am taking a input voltage. That is my input parameter, and we write this as a VI or the VA. And okay, and here on the y-axis we have a current I. So if we draw this transfer characteristics for a field effect transistor, then it is like this. So it is a non-linear. Correct? Here this part is a non-linear. In this part we have some kind of a linear characteristics. This is known as a dynamic transfer curve. Correct? Now we apply the input voltage, and input voltage means there will be a variation of the voltage here, and this will give you correspondingly what is the change in the output current. Okay? So if I will apply, remember, my input signal is like this, and it is going to vary in this way. Here I am taking a cos curve. It is a cos curve. So this point, you can say this is my input voltage, V is there. Here we have omega t is equal to 0. This is the omega t is equal to pi by 2, and this point is omega t is equal to pi. So this axis is the omega t axis. Correspondingly, if we see what is the change in the output current. So when this input signal means the omega t is equal to 0, the amplitude of the input signal is large. So here, if we draw a line corresponding to this, then it is representing this much amount of the current, and this current we call this as the I maximum. Now here, when this input signal is zero, input signal is maximum, so the maximum current is there. At this point, the input signal is zero, so at that time, whatever the current is flowing, we call this as the IQ, operating point. It is known as the operating point. And if my input signal has minimum amplitude at this point, where the omega t is equal to pi, and if I will see what is the current, then at that time whatever the current is flowing, that is known as AI minimum. So if I will draw, remember, if I will draw a graph for the output, then this graph will be like this. Correct? This is my input voltage. Correspondingly, what is the change in the current? Here, this is representing a current of the amplifier, I/O. Remember, and this is my omega t axis. So, in this case, you can see the shape of the input signal, output signal is not proper. The amplitude in the output, the amplitude of the positive cycle is large, and the amplitude of the negative cycle is less. So, this is a distorted signal. I think so. Now, through this characteristic curve, you come to know that how the signal is going to be a distorted. Now, in this signal has a, in this signal you will find a fundamental frequency, the second harmonic will be there, third harmonic will be there, the different harmonics are present. Now, how to calculate the second harmonic, amplitude of the second, third, fourth harmonic? Okay? Here we are going to discuss about the second harmonic. Remember, because it is very important. And for that, we will consider a 3 point of the input signal, where the omega t is 0, omega t is pi by 2, and the omega t is pi. So we will take the 3 points of the characteristic curve, and from that we are calculating the distortion. So this method is known as a 3-point method. This method is known as a 3-point method for calculating a distortion. Then if you consider the higher harmonics, like a third, fourth, fifth harmonic, and in that case we have a 5-point method. But we are not discussing what is the 5-point method. Here we will see what is the 3-point method. Correct? Okay. Now to find out this, here we consider, let us say my input voltage. Input voltage is a kind of a cos wave. So we can write input voltage is a cos wave, so it is written as V is equal to Vm cos omega t. Okay. Now, here whatever the graph you can see, that is a relation between the current and voltage. You can see it is a non-linear. If it is a linear, then directly we can use this formula y is equal to mx plus c if it is a straight line. But this is not a straight line, then how to describe the relation between the current and voltage? Once you can describe, then you can find out the amplitude of a fundamental frequency and second harmonic. So here you can see, if I will extend here whatever my parabolic this curve is there, if I will extend this curve, then you will find that whatever the characteristics is there, it is a part of the parabola. It is a part of the parabola. Means for the parabola, we know what is the expression. So this is whatever the curve is there, you can say it is a parabola. Correct? So here we will write the relation between the current and voltage for the active device. We can write as I is equal to from the graph we can say the current I is given as a K1V plus K2V square plus K3V cube and so on. Remember, this is a general expression for the parabola. So the relation between the current and voltage we can write in this way. Now we can introduce what is the V here and we can calculate the current. But this current, remember, this current is representing a current of an active device. We want to calculate what is the output current of the amplifier. Now remember that in an amplifier, in the amplifier, that output current consists of a two current. One is called a DC current and another is known as the AC current. What is a DC current? That when you are not applying the signal, here in this case you can see that here my input voltage is 0. Input voltage is 0 means we are not applying the signal. But at that time, this current is going to be flow. This current IQ is going to be flow. That is known as the operating current. It is a operating point. Correct? So it is a DC current. In the amplifier, the output current consists of a DC current plus then whatever the input voltage is changing, due to that whatever the output current is changing, and that current we can write as I. That is why. So you have to remember that in the amplifier circuit, when we bias the transistor, at that time when we are not applying the current, still there will be a flow of the current in a transistor, that is known as the DC current, operating current. And then when we apply the signal, at that time whatever the current is changing, that is the AC current. So the output current of the amplifier is given as IQ plus I. Now we can write it as the IQ. What is I? It is a K1V plus K2V square plus K3VQ and so on. Correct? Now we substitute the value of A, V. So IQ plus K1, into what is V? Vm cos omega t. So this is Vm cos omega t plus K2 into Vm cos omega t whole square. Now remember, here we want to calculate the distortion up to a second harmonic, and that's why I am neglecting the higher harmonics. Whatever the higher harmonics are there, at this moment we don't consider. Otherwise, means the amplitude of the third, fourth harmonics are very small, so the distortion will be very small, and therefore we are neglecting the higher harmonics. Okay? So this is equal to, we can write as IQ plus K1 Vm cos omega t plus now K2 Vm square, and what is cos square omega t? Cos square omega t means 1 plus cos 2 omega t divided by 2. We can write that 1 plus cos 2 omega t by 2. And this is equal to a IQ plus K1 Vm cos omega t plus I can write K2 Vm square by 2, that is, and plus this we are opening the bracket, K2 Vm square by 2 into cos 2 omega t. Okay? And here I can write this as a IQ. Now whatever the K2 Vm square is there, that we are writing Vm square by 2, then K1 Vm cos omega t plus K2 Vm square by 2 cos 2 omega t. Now here you try to understand each and every term of the expression. So IQ, already we know that it is a DC current before we apply the signal. Correct? So here IQ is a DC current. Now K2 Vm square by 2. You can see in this term the T is not there. So it is a constant quantity, and the constant quantity means constant current. So constant current means again it is representing a DC current. Remember, here if we have a cos omega t or the sin omega t term, then it is a AC. But this kind of the terms are not present. So the second term is also representing a DC current. But this DC current is introduced when we apply the signal. Therefore, we can say it is a extra, it is a rectified extra DC current and actually this extra DC current is introduced due to the rectification. Then if you look at the third term, then third term is what? Vm cos omega t, and Vm cos omega t is nothing but it is my input signal. You can say it is a fundamental frequency. So the third term is representing a fundamental frequency. Correct? And in the second term, we have cos 2 omega t, and that is representing the second harmonic. So mathematically here, we can see the second harmonic as introduced. So in the output current, in the output of the amplifier current, the second harmonic will be there. If I will consider the third VQ, then I will find the cos 3 omega t. So this is representing a second harmonic. Correct? It is representing a second harmonic. Now this expression we will write in a simple way. That output current of amplifier is written as I is equal to a IQ plus here K2 Vm square by 2. It is a constant quantity. I will call this as a A0 plus K1 Vm is there. I will write this as a A1 cos omega t and K2 Vm square by 2 that is representing A2. So we write this A2 cos 2 omega t. Correct? So here what is A1? A1 is representing a amplitude of fundamental frequency. Frequency F. What is A2? It is a amplitude of second harmonic to F. So if we calculate A2 and A1, then that ratio will give you the distortion introduced due to the second harmonic. Correct? So how to calculate this A2 and A1? Okay, so again I will write this expression that I is equal to a IQ plus A0 plus A1 cos omega t plus A2 cos 2 omega t. So now it is clear that the output current contains the fundamental frequency F and the second harmonic to F. Okay, now to calculate this A1, A2, here we will consider the 3 points of your A characteristic curve. Remember, in this expression, A0, A1, A2, they are unknown quantity. Means we have a 3 unknown quantity. And if you want to solve this expression, then we require the 3 different equations. If you have the 3 different equations, then we can find out the 3 unknown parameters. And that's why here we will consider a 3 different points of my input signal or the 3 different points of a characteristic curve. So what should be the first one? Remember, first one, if I will take the omega t is equal to 0, means I am taking this point. Omega t is equal to 0. At that time, what is the current? It is a I maximum. So, here if this equation I will write for omega t is equal to 0, then instead of I will write I maximum equal to a IQ plus A0 plus A1 cos 0 plus A2 cos 0. Correct? We write the omega t is equal to 0. So my expression will be a IQ plus A0 cos 0 is 1 plus A1 plus A2. We can say that this is my expression number 1. I am taking the first point. Now, what is my second point? That omega t is equal to pi by 2. And at that time, how much current is flowing in the amplifier? That is the IQ. So, the second point is omega t is equal to pi by 2. And in that case, we can write that the IQ is equal to IQ plus A0 plus A1 cos pi by 2 plus A2 cos 2 into pi by 2. Now, here you can see IQ is on the left hand side, right hand side, it will be cancelled, and therefore the 0 is equal to A0. Now, cos pi by 2 is 0, so this term is also going to be 0. Here the 2 will be cancelled and the cos pi will be there, so it will be a minus, so minus A2. And this indicates that the A2 is equal to A0. This is my expression number 2. Now actually this expression is representing what? A2 is the amplitude of my second harmonic and A0 is my extra DC current. So whatever the extra DC current is generated, that is nothing but it is a second harmonic. So A2 is equal to A0. Now we take a third point. What is the third point? Omega t is equal to pi. Means here, this point. And at that time whatever the current is flowing, that is a minimum current, I minimum. So here we will write the I minimum is equal to IQ plus A0 plus A1 cos pi plus A2 cos 2 pi. So I minimum equal to, we can write, this is IQ plus A0. Now cos pi is minus 1, so minus A1, and the cos 2 pi is 1, so plus A2. This is my expression number 3. So if we solve these three different equations, then you can find out what is A0, A1 and A2. Correct? So what are the three equations? Here I will show that one. That the first expression is then the second expression is this. And third one is this. And the rest of the thing I am going to rub off. Now here it is very easy to solve this expression. Then first of all, here we write wherever the A0 is there, we write a A2. Correct? In expression number 1 and 3. So that my I maximum will be equal to a IQ plus, instead of A0 I will write A2, so you will get A1 plus 2A2. Put A0 is equal to A2. Correct? Then I minimum will be equal to a IQ plus A0. Now instead of A0 we will write A2. So here we have IQ and A0, A2. So 2A2 will be there, minus A1 plus 2A2. So in both the case we put A0 is equal to A2. Now here we take the addition and subtraction, then you will find out what is A2 and A1. So adding both expressions, we have a I maximum plus I minimum, and that is equal to, if we have these two expressions, then 2IQ will be there, 2IQ. Here A1 will be cancelled out, and we have A4, A2. Correct? And therefore the amplitude of the second harmonic we can write as a I maximum plus I minimum, I maximum plus I minimum. We take the 2IQ here, so minus 2IQ divided by 4. So this is the expression for a second harmonic. And here, if you take the subtraction, remember that if I will take the subtraction, subtracting both expression, so here we have I maximum minus I minimum, I maximum minus I minimum, and that will be equal to what? The IQ will be cancelled. Here this is going to be negative, negative, this will be positive, and this will be a negative. Correct? So IQ will be cancelled. Now A1 and A1 will be there. So we have a 2A1 and 2A2 minus 2A2. So it will be cancelled out. And the A1 is equal to a I maximum minus I minimum divided by 2. So this is representing a amplitude of a fundamental frequency. And if you take the ratio of this, then the distortion we can write. The distortion due to a second harmonic is D2 is equal to mode of A2 by mode of A1 multiplied by 100. Correct? So, in this way, using a characteristic curve, we can find out what is the amplitude of the fundamental frequency and the amplitude of the second harmonic. That's why it is known as the graphical method. So, from this transfer characteristic curve, you have to find out, remember, here you have to find out what is the maximum current, what is the maximum current, what is the DC current, and what is the minimum current. Correct? And use this formula of A1, A2, you can calculate the distortion. Then in the next lecture, we will see how we can measure the distortion using a electronic circuit.